everybody, and welcome to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. This week, we're celebrating Wolf Awareness Week. My name is Lily. I serve as the Director of Education here. And can you introduce yourself for the audience?
I'm Alex, and I serve as the Assistant Curator in the Animal Care Department here.
And the other important individuals to introduce right now would be the wolves that live at AWCC. What can you tell us about them?
We have 3, 1 female and 2 males, Bree, Dearest, and Lothario, all of whom came to our center from Facilities in Human Care in 2016.
Fantastic. And when you come and visit us at AWCC, you can meet them as well. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the life history of wolves in Alaska and what conservation means in the state of Alaska and how it's practiced. So I've got just a few questions for you here today. Alex, we'll breeze through them. And I am just so excited to hear your expertise on wolves. All right, so wolves, I hear, are very cryptic carnivores of Alaska, a little bit sneaky, a little bit hiding under the trees. So tell us about pack dynamic of wolves. I understand it's often misunderstood.
It sure can be. Often people will call a male and female breeding pair of a pack the alpha male or the alpha female. That terminology is just not quite right. As biologists, we refer to them as the breeding male and breeding female, and the pack will typically be composed of that breeding male and breeding female's offspring, plus any other wolves that might have come into their territory that they have allowed into their pack.
Wonderful. And so a breeding male and female, I bet they have just the cutest babies.
They have the cutest. They're like this big when they're like fuzzy. You can see them on a trail camera because they're out of the den size. And they are the cutest. And I just want to squish their faces. But I won't because that's bad.
And so as far as animals in Alaska go, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard is a wolf's life compared to other animals? 1 being like, walk in the park, easy peasy. 10 being like, it's treacherous out there.
It's treacherous out there, y'all. So when a wolf that is typically between 1 and 3 years old, though that can vary a little bit, leaves their pack that they were born into, they have to then find a new territory, either with a new pack and be accepted into that new pack, or they have to find another breeding adult to make a pack with. And wolves are territorial, and they will defend their territory. Intraspecific strife is what we call wolves having an issue with other wolves, and that is the leading cause of being a hard time for a wolf that is trying to disperse into another pack's territory. Because if you aren't, there are a lot of factors that can go into a wolf pack accepting a new wolf, and sometimes they can seem awfully arbitrary to us human scientists.
So for any kiddos watching this video, you know we have animals that eat vegetation, herbivores. We've got animals that eat meat.
Carnivores.
Yes, and we have animals maybe that eat both.
Omnivores.
And we've got animals that eat insects.
Insectivores.
There are so many types of diets. Can you tell me what is the diet of a wolf? That's right, kiddos, it's a carnivore. All right, so what are some prey species of wolves in Alaska?
In Alaska, our prey species vary. So, right, in Southeast Alaska, they have a lot of the Sitka black-tailed deer available to them. They also have sea otters available to them if they are a pack that has decided that they like to consume sea otters. Coastal wolves will eat intertidal fish and invertebrates. Wolves in interior Alaska typically subsist a little bit more on moose and caribou. Mountain goats can be thrown in where mountain goats are available, and Dall sheep can be thrown in where Dall sheep are available.
All right. Okay, we've learned a little bit about the life history of wolves. Now I'm curious how that plays into conservation. We are the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. So tell me, why is it important to know about the life history of a wolf when considering conservation?
When we're talking about conservation, we're talking about how these animals might affect other animals on the landscape. So knowing what they are eating, and maybe they have different times of year that they are more interested in one thing or another. For example, wolves might really go after the salmon run if it is available to them, and that could relieve the ungulate population. Just
spitballing
just
here.
in theory. That was the whole idea behind the predation study work that I helped with as a biologist. And so when we're talking about conservation, it's important to know what wolves and bears are eating, so that way when we want to harvest a moose or harvest a caribou, we can take those things into account.
Right, so there's a little bit of an interdisciplinary component here. You're considering the needs of the people living in Alaska as well. What is the status right now of wolves in the state of Alaska? I know Alaska is a big state. You worked in the southeast corner of the state. What is the status of wolves in Alaska?
They are not endangered. They are, we don't know exactly how many wolves live in the state of Alaska. The state of Alaska puts a lot of effort into estimating the abundance of a lot of things, like moose and caribou, and making sure that the wood bison are doing okay. And wolves are so hard to find on the landscape that the only place that there's a huge effort to estimate abundance is Prince of Wales Island, because of several factors. The folks on Prince of Wales Island really want more information about their wolf population. The deer on Prince of Wales Island are a high valued resource for residents of Prince of Wales Island, and there is quite a bit of logging on Prince of Wales Island, which could or could not be impacting the deer.
All right, can you tell us about how wolves are managed in Alaska?
Wolves can be managed in a couple of different ways. Often when folks are doing moose surveys, they might write down that they see a pack or tracks of a pack, or they might take harvest numbers into account when they're trying to figure out how many wolves are in their area.
To wrap us up here, Alex, I would love if you could share your favorite story from your time working with wolves in the field.
Okay. Gosh, is it A, the time I got to crawl just full body into a wolf den, or B, saw a bear on a moose carcass and said, yep, nope, we don't need to investigate that, that's a moose. So I'm going with the moose.
Okay, let's hear the moose story.
So a part of that work that I did in Southeast was investigating wolf sites where the wolves had GPS collars on them. They had a lot of locations in a spot, and we would go investigate those locations to see if they had killed anything. My supervisor and I were hiking through the meadow. We were coming upon the location of cluster that we were going to investigate. We had been quite loud the whole time. My voice projects kind of a lot. The times that I have run into a bear in the field has really taken me by surprise because I am loud. So we get to the edge of this, we get to the perimeter of these locations. I look at my supervisor looks at me, and she says, you want to go that way and I'll go this way? And I said, okay. And we take maybe one step, and then we just see a flutter of vegetation and a bear running away from us, thankfully. And as soon as it hits the tree line, it makes a sharp left. So I turn back to her and I say, maybe we'll do this one together. So all we did there was we looked at the moose carcass from afar, saw, yes, that is a moose carcass. And then we walked away. I said, how much do we want a trail camera here? And she said, how fast can you put it up? And I said, I've been training my whole life for this. So we put a trail camera up, left, came back a week later, and lo and behold, there were some really neat bear-wolf interactions on that trail camera footage.
Worth the extra few minutes.
Worth the extra few minutes. We had our bear sprays out like the whole time.
I love to hear a prepared for bears story. So when you said the bear turned left in the trees, was that the direction you were meant to be going?
Nope.
Not anymore, at least. All right, everybody. Thank you again for joining us at the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. This week is Wolf Awareness Week, and we've been celebrating it with Alex Lewis, our assistant curators, and the wolves of AWCC. I hope you'll join us next time for more fun information about wildlife of Alaska. See you then.